Now let's write out an integer. We'll do int. We'll call this my num. We'll equal it to 255. So integers can be printed out in three formats. You could do decimal, which is the %d. That's what it stands for. We can do that. We can do hexadecimal, and that is a %x. And then you could do an octal, which is %o. And for each one of these percent signs, we're going to need to give it a parameter with a number. So let's just write num 3 times to satisfy each one. So num, num, num. Or actually, my num. Close this. Num. Let's do Control F5, and we'll see that's going to get updated. So 255, FF, and 377. That's how you can display the hexadecimal, octal, and the actual decimal value of a number. So for the next example, let's create a char called mychar. Make it equal to the letter Z. And let's print it out in the two different formats. You can print it out as, like we demonstrated before, a character format with a %c, or you could print it out as its integer value. So we could just do %d, and this will print out character as the integer value that's stored in. So now we just do my char and then my char, and if we run it now, you can see that the character is printed out as z and stored as 90. What's actually interesting is that if you put lowercase z, you would think it'd be 91 or 89. It's actually not. It's going to be stored as 122. Chars are actually very interesting because you can actually add 1 to both of these, and you can see what the next letter would be in like the alphabet here, or what the next value is being stored. So if you do Control F5, so the next letter after the Z is the curly brace. So if we go, for example, let's do F, and you run it, it should be G. And then if you subtract 1 from F, so we instead of +1, we're going to do -1 now. You can see that when you do Control F5, it's going to be E. So remember, the alphabet is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We are storing it as F, but when we do subtract 1 from both of these, it can go from F to E, or if you add 1, it'll go from F to G. You increase it by 1 or whatever. You can even do subtract any number. You can do subtract 10 and then subtract 10, and then you can see what number is going to be stored there. We're going to have a syntax error though. So you can see here, syntax error, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, undeclared identifier. That means we got to delete this. Control F5. So 10 characters in the other direction, it's going to be a slash, and that's stored at 92. So you can use characters in many interesting situations. For example, if you need to print out the alphabet really quickly, instead of writing 26 letters, A to Z, you can just define a char as A, and then have a loop run to increment it by 1 every time it runs. But we'll get into those examples later. Before you move on to the next video, I would suggest that you go over this one more time to make sure you fully understand what all of these print methods do and all the special functionality within each one of these lines. Each one is uniquely different, and just make sure that you understand what they're doing and why the code does what it does.